he was saying,
Good
Schoolboy was saying,
girl.
the Yellow John dogs, and
Good girl.
they crossed that with the Jocko stuff. Chavis
My
and
dog.
that bunch, and
Nope, you can't do that. I'm gonna kick you out of here. Get up. Get
they
up.
got some good crosses.
Don't
I
be rubbing
seen
your back
some
all up in my carpet. You need a
that was
bath. Did
game.
you just
I
get this
seen
one?
a bitch, a female
That
that
better already been
came
there,
where it
cause if
was
not, I'm gonna have to
Yellow
kick you
John,
out. I know you in here, but I thought you was
Jocko
done
cross,
bleeding.
and she could bite. She could bite pretty good. I liked her, and then there was another one
I
that
might have to kick you out, girl. I don't want
we
you
had
getting no
came
blood
back,
on my carpet.
and we sent her to Ohio, and she was killing everything they put on her. And so, but that's been so many years ago.
It's cold, man. I gotta go out here
You
and get the
know,
rest of my dogs here in a
which
minute.
one is the most devastating? I
Good
don't know.
girl.
I
Hey,
seen some Eli dogs that
that's my dog.
you know, I think what the
That's my dog.
saloon stuff. Uh, what's that? The little dog, little sister.
Hold on, girl. Move, move.
I
I'm
would
trying to
say
see
she's
something.
about one of the hardest, one of the
Did you
hardest
do
biting
this?
dogs I had witnessed. You know, but anyway, that's all I had to say. Yeah.
I can't tell if that's
Yes, sir.
old.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna try to wipe
Brother
it off.
Eli,
If it
what's
come
your
off, then you just did that
experience
to me. Yep.
with
You must have
Jocko
just did that to
dogs
me. Go on in there.
versus
Because
Eli
if you
dogs?
sniffing it and licking it, that's not
I
old.
mean,
That's something
I
you
pretty
just
much
got
gotta
on you.
agree with Ross and Schoolboy. My experience personally was that
Oh,
each
you got
one
some
of
nice
them
cutters on
presented
them
their
too.
their
I don't know if
own
y'all can
good
see them from
dogs
that far
throughout
away.
history. And in my time, when
Good girl.
shit, 20 years ago or so, when I first started really getting around these dogs and really getting going, those dogs were starting to be crossed into the yellow john stuff, starting to be crossing, creating the yellow john and the termite stuff, the stuff that was really starting to build steam. Of course, they had been years before me, but those were the hot dogs, and it wasn't really pure per se, because there's no such thing as a
I
pure dog.
started
It
with
wasn't really pure Jocko dogs, but those
some
were the
really
Jocko
inbred
dogs that were
dogs
out there. And then you had the
that
Sage
probably
line of
started out
Jocko stuff,
scatterbred.
and then you had the little
They
like
was Jeep
B
Bolio
Jackson
Zebo.
crosses, which was paint, but
And they had
I mean
another
that's
dog in
what
there.
created
She was
Jocko and stuff.
supposed to
But
be some Corvino
they
stuff, but
were
we don't
solid
know that for
dogs.
sure.
I mean, as far as
But
in
I'm gonna tell you
comparison of
something.
one to the
Them
other,
some of the best dogs I ever
to
had.
me, each one
They
could hold their own
definitely
with the other. So it's
were some of
really
the
like
healthiest dogs I ever had.
no
The
serious
motherfuckers never
comparison
got
there. It's
sick.
just you
They
got
was
good dogs
always
from
thick and
both of them.
healthy, and
If you
they
ask me,
rarely ever got
could the Jocko
skinny.
dogs
It
hold
was
their own?
hard to get them real
Yeah,
dry. They
I
carried
would
their water
absolutely say
really
yes.
well.
And in all things with these dogs, it depends on your source of where you got it from, of how they actually perform. So, that's my answer on
Good
that.
girl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got a question here that says, does the panel have any examples in y'all experience historically, of course, of shy dogs having a shy
Go in
dog,
there.
but that dog
Go.
turning into a great performer?
Go in there.
We'll start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, I had one from Don Broke. He was a Jeep Rascal dog named Dawson, and he was scared of his own shadow, and I couldn't hardly work him. I mentioned him before, but the only thing I could do with him was pull him on his chain. If you walk up to him, he'd run away and hit the end of his chain, about to break his neck. Just real squirrely. Couldn't hand walk him, couldn't treadmill, couldn't do nothing with him.
I hate shy
But
dogs.
when you face
Human
him
shy
up, he do
dogs.
what he's supposed to do.
I
I
hate that
won
shit.
with him. Then I sent him back to Broad. He won two more. I won in 31 with him, and Broad won in he won in an hour 11 and 10 minutes. And then there was that white blood we talk about. I lost to a bitch named Champion Nikki. She was double bred Champion Alien, and she was like that, real shy, introverted. Stay in her doghouse. But man, you face her up, and she would go to work. She was a good bitch. There's been a bunch of them. That Snake Dog was supposedly squirrely like that. He produced Grand Champion Snake Junior. My buddy had a female off of him, real game, real rough. Uh, there's been a bunch of them throughout history. You know, sometimes it's the way that they're brought up. You know, a lot of times, you know, dog men
This
in
is
the
what I will
past,
say. My
the
Red Boy
dogs didn't
Jocko
hardly ever
dogs,
leave
they're
their
not
yard. You
shy,
know, so you
but
don't get any
they
outside influence. They
they
don't
don't
socialize with
handle
anything else, and they can get real introverted, real
they don't
shy and
handle
coy. You
me
know,
power
and
checking them.
some are
You know
just
what I
born
mean?
that
If
way.
I cuss their ass out,
With
act like
most
I'm
of them,
gonna
you
do
can work
something
with
to
them, bring
them,
them out of that shyness,
they
but some
get
you can't. That Dawson, you
they
could
get
never.
real, act like I
He was
beat them or
grown when I
something. You know
got
what I
him
mean?
that
They
he was
be
going to be that way for the
act like
rest
I'm
of his
finna hit
life.
them
He
and
was
shit.
just,
Now don't get me
and
wrong.
I think a lot of
I
it
done
had to
beat
do.
my
He was
dog.
isolated, and maybe
I done went
there's something
upside
in his
somebody's head
background
before.
that had
You
dogs
know what I
like
mean?
that, his mother or
But shit,
father
I
or
don't beat
something.
my kids. I done
But
gotten their ass too.
most of the time, you can work with them and get them out
Even
of
though
it.
I'm a
You know, the
lucky
best thing I
48-year
say
old,
is put them with
empty
kids. You
nester,
know,
ain't
like we
nobody here
mentioned
but me and my
before,
wife.
kids will bring
Right.
it out of them usually.
My
Especially
youngest
if
is
the younger
22.
you get them, the better it is. You know, out of that shell. Yeah, I'm sure
3
there's been
kids
tons of
by
them.
3 different women.
You know, those
My
are
oldest
probably
is,
the two I was most familiar with.
I think he's 29.
Yes, sir. Salute to Meredith Campbell in the super chat
And
with
we
that
all,
50
all my
piece.
kids are
Giannis,
special to me for different reasons.
appreciate the love, man. He says, "What's good,
My oldest,
family?
we grew up
This is
together.
my contribution to the book you
You know what
brothers
I
are
mean? Like,
going
even
to
though I was in
write.
the streets,
Salute and
I was
blessings to you.
determined to be a
Thank you, brother
father,
Meredith
to be a
Campbell.
dad.
Appreciate the love, fam.
Salute,
Thank you,
Meredith.
Matthew.
And then my daughter,
Salute, salute.
she's
Yes,
the
sir.
only child by my wife.
Let me
Love of
ask
my life.
Rasta Man, any
She's my
experience
only
with
girl
shy
that I
dogs
made.
turned
You
into
know, I
great
got a
performers?
stepdaughter, but she's the only daughter that I made.
Yeah.
And then my
I had
youngest,
one.
for one, he reminded me a lot of me.
She would
So did my oldest.
drop her tail.
But
It wouldn't be between her legs, but it'd just be, instead of out, it'd be
it's
down.
just me and him got a
And
special relationship.
once
You know
she
what I
got
mean?
going, then the tail
That's my
come
buddy.
up. But
That's my
when
buddy.
you bring her to
My
face
youngest
her,
son is my buddy.
her
That's my little
tail be
buddy.
down.
My oldest son too. But
I
my youngest
thought
son
that
is
was
my little
kind
buddy,
of,
man. That's my dude.
it was just funny, but
I love them all, man.
anyway, she turned out to
I
be
don't know
a
how I got
damn
to
good
talking about my
dog.
kids, but
So,
that's my heart right there. You know what I mean? It's
you'll
like my
find
heart
some
jumped out my
have
chest,
different character, man.
split in three,
And,
grew
it's
legs
all about
and arms
being
and
able
shit and started
to
walking around.
adjust
That's
to
what my
who they
kids
are.
are to me.
You know what I
My
mean?
heart jumped out of my chest.
And as you can do that, they'll become
Grew legs.
comfortable enough
Started walking the
to,
fuck
to,
around.
to,
No, bro.
to relax. You know what I mean? But
Pumpkin trying to
when
come.
they get all tensed up and
All right, come
wired out like that,
Come on, Pumpkin.
you gotta,
Come here.
be patient with them. Don't force nothing because
There you go.
they already in that,
There you go.
that's,
There you
that,
go. Come on. You can
not
give me
really
that.
rebellion, but
You can
it's,
give me that.
there ain't no trust there. It's the trust. And then you got
Look at that.
some
Look at all
like
that
Smooth
gut,
Boy
y'all.
said, they just gonna be that way.
All
You know
that
what I mean?
gut.
But,
Give me. Hey, listen. By the time it
that don't
warm
mean
up,
you gotta get
she
rid
won't
of
have
them.
all that.
You still can keep her
We gonna
or
start working.
let her
You
go
wanna go
to
get
a
some
friend
work
or
Huh?
somebody
You better
that
not
would
leave it.
take care of a pet
better
or
not.
whatever the case may be.
Right.
You want to go get some work in?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that reminds me of a dog named Boozer. He was a 3-time winner.
Huh,
That's
fat
how
dog?
he would fight the whole way with his tail down like that, tucked almost, And he was off of 4 bits and a Heinzel female, I think, and he was a nose dog. He went into another Don Broke
We
dog.
had a nose
It was a
dog or a
brother
mouth
to
dog.
Broke's
He
Dottie
just come
named
straight
Pirate.
out, blowing them out.
He was a 1-time winner. He's the one who broke the Sosa Boys' unbeaten streak. They were 18 wins and 2 draws, and he beat Sosa Boys' boxcar in a little over an hour. He broke that streak. He was a good
18?
dog, but Boozer got on his nose, man,
Basically 18
and
and
with
up.
that tail
18
tucked like that, and
with-
the
and
whole
2
way.
draws.
All it got to him like the first 5-10
That's
minutes.
really
He was
nice
rough,
right there.
hard biter, and after that,
I got a partner.
he
I
basically
think he's
removed his
15 and
nose.
2,
Pirate scratch
17
with
and
his
2, something like that.
chin on the ground and his nose on the side, man. Almost 2 hours. Real game dog.
He kind of
So yeah, Rasta mentioned that.
This
That
one's
reminded
off,
me
he
of that
didn't lose.
Boozer. He tail tuck dog.
but he got them together, and
Brother
somebody
Eli,
else
what's
took
your
them
thoughts
out,
on that, man?
and they
Oh
lost.
yeah, they can definitely be good. I mean, I can recall a Carver Bolio bread mill, heavy on the banjo on top, and with the old, what's that? The old Sin City Spunk stuff on bottom, that Patrick stuff, and he was real spooky, would wide eyed, stay away from you, but otherwise was an animal. Smart, steady, not the fastest, but just smart, steady, doable animal,
Very
you know,
smart, fast,
and
opportunist.
he was a good one. I can remember, if not something that I
I
can
was telling my
say.
guy the
I
other
used
day,
to
she's like a
think
good
back in the
quarterback.
day, oh, this bloodline was like
She's
that.
gonna
This
take what
blood,
you
it
give her.
wasn't. It was more to their environment and them being raised. Some bloodlines kind of have it a little bit more, but I've seen it
All right,
in the
go on.
Carver Bolio
Go
cross.
on.
I've seen it in the 6 bits Nicatobi Maverick cross.
I
I've
just don't
seen
want
it in
nothing
the
to fall
wild
out
side,
you, bro.
in the
Otherwise, I
heavy
would let you
wild
sit in
side.
here with me.
So
Plus,
it's
you need
not
a
something
map.
that's just pronounced to one bloodline or anything. You kind of take them for who they are. You do your best to socialize them. I seen one that I took to confirmation shows, and as I took her confirmation shows, and she got used to being around the people and being excited in the show ring during her confirmation, she slowly came out of her shell and she started, the judges would come up to her and check her teeth and everything.
Smart.
She
Y'all
got
see
used to
that?
being handled and touched by other people, and she got used to other people being around her, and she changed. She just became a more confident, socialized dog. Where she was before,
I was
like
talking to somebody
Schoolboy alluded to
recently.
earlier, she had not been socialized. She had
He
not been
said he
taken
went
off
out,
of that yard and walked and been around people. She
had an
just was
Invicto,
a dog that was just on
uh,
the chain, that was just there.
Invicto female. He
And
got the
once I
mom
got her
from
out
me.
and started traveling with her, she came
He
out
like
of it.
she
I
she
did
real
it again with
fiery
a
on the yard and all
snooty
that,
balls meal. He was real shy,
but she
real
don't like
shy.
people.
And I took him
Like
and
he
would
took
put him in the
her,
car with me and ride him
tried to,
around with me and
have a
would take him to
session.
the shows and would
She
walk
seen
him to
all
the
them people
park
and
and
just went
like
crazy.
the schoolboy
And
said,
she
let
was
the
trying to
kids come
bite
up and pet him
motherfuckers
and
and
stuff because he didn't feel
halfway
like they
tried to
was a
bite
threat.
him.
And
And
he came out of it. So the socialization a big part of it and environment.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I saw this question in the chat. I'm gonna run it backwards to you, Eli. It says, let's salute to Rose Kennels. He says, let's say my dogs are scatterbred and crossbred. Can I breed two litters together, brother and sister, same for the same from the same litter? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me get that again.
yeah, because I don't understand it
He
either.
says,
I'm looking at it.
let's say my dogs are scatterbred and
Scatterbred and a
crossbred. Can I
crossbreed.
breed two litters together, brother and sister, off the same litter to throw a consistent look and
Um,
get the traits I want?
Huh?
I'm glad you brought that up. You remember yesterday in our little group, I said something about something like this.
Right.
Things like back crossing and line breeding and outcross
I'm a
and
firm believer in
inbreed.
line breeding.
Those are
Line
tools
breeding and loose
in
line
breeding.
breeding. That's what I'm
And
on.
part of that being a tool is exactly what you're saying. It's part of that being to express and clean up a gene pool, to express the traits that you want, to get them to come out and show themselves, and to have that selection, that selective breeding process. So yes, you can absolutely do that because those individuals that you get off of that breeding, you can start to turn. That's how breeders actually start to turn that line into the type of dogs that they like, the attributes that they like. If you like a good, smart, fast dog, you pick the athletes that are fast and skilled out of those breeds, and you move forward with those particular animals, and you breed around those, and that starts to change your line and scope your line into what it is. If you're looking for a certain look, a certain structure, a certain build, a certain color that's going to be a marker, you have some old timers like that whose name was brought up last week. I'm forgetting, but I remember the conversation. They believed in markers in their line in their generation. People put markers in their generation by look. You have certain dogs that have buckskin black mass in a generation, and it's like they know they bred that generation with these two dogs. So when it comes back, it shows, and they believe that. You have people like Don Mayfield that love the black dogs, the English bred blood that he said, and it was like a marker that was in there. Or you can see the Irish when the red was expressed, it showed the crosses and the recessive genes. So yes, absolutely. Just long story short, absolutely, yeah. You use those breeding tools, the breeding methods,
Excuse my mess,
line
y'all.
breeding,
Don't
out crossing,
be
back
talking
crossing. Yes,
bad
what
about
most
me,
people don't
man,
talk
because
about. using
I got a
older
mess going
individuals
on
and
here, man.
bringing
In fact, let me
grandparents
pause my shit so
to
y'all
the
don't be talking
forefront.
bad about.
Great grandparents, when you make those breedings, you'll see what
No, girl.
where
All
the
right, one
traits
more
are
time.
coming
One more.
from.
Come on. Just a
And
short
then,
one.
like
Come on.
Eli said, you're going to
We
concentrate on
don't
the
just
traits
work,
you
man.
like
We don't work them. They're not just
by
always
simply using the dogs that
outside,
express
and
those
we
traits.
rub them down, man.
And with
we
that,
show
you
them we
can
love them.
build,
Like I'm sure you do.
you can build a family of dogs off of that. You know, and you can go back to
I'm gonna tell y'all something though.
you know, if you when you make that inbreeding, then you can line breed it
I feel
after
like ain't
that.
nothing
Let's
like
say you
raising
breed
them
brother
in the
and
house,
sister.
bro. Like
You
all
take
my
the
dogs,
pups off of that, go back
almost
to
all of them can
the
come
father
in
or
the
the
house.
mother.
You
You
know
can
how
go back
that.
to the
Not everybody though.
grandfather. You can
Like
go
I'm
back
finna go
to the
get.
cousins. You can
Right now I'm
breed
finna go
aunt,
outside and get
the
Dino.
nephew, you know,
I'm gonna
uncle,
go
the
get
niece,
Jezebel,
like that,
and I'm gonna go get
and
Dot. All three of the ones
establish
that I
a
just brought back
foundation
here.
of traits, whichever ones you like. That's
Dino and
you know,
Jezebel
most
are
breeders,
smooth. They
including
know how to
Heinz
be in the
Tudor,
house.
Carver,
They know how
you
to
name
sit.
it,
Like
Kobe, you
Dino and
name
Jezebel
them.
both could be loose in the house,
Their
not together, of course.
bloodlines,
They didn't have
once
a
they
couple
were
accidents.
established, they
Male,
generally
female. Dino
come
don't
from
give a
several
fuck,
different
and neither do
bloodlines, from
Jezebel.
several
So,
different dog
but
lines.
anyway,
And they just breed them the way they want,
but Dot
capturing the traits that
don't even do
they
good in the crate.
admire or they
I
want
think
to
she's been here
retain,
since
and then go from there.
Saturday.
And that's
This
when you start to
Friday,
get a look
she's
of
shit
particular bloodlines.
in
You
the
know,
crate
Eli's
every
dogs look a
single
certain
night
way. You
since she's
know,
been here.
Oleo dogs look a certain way. Carver dogs look a
Then
certain
you know,
way.
I got
You
this
know,
big metal crate
because
where the
those
shit can fall
breeders
through.
captured those
But I
traits,
gotta put
retained
when
them,
I
and were able to
the nights
pass
that
them
I
on
bring
to the
Breeze in, I
individuals
gotta
they
put
use.
Breeze in that because he's tearing a
So
regular
yeah,
kennel up and coming out of
short answer is inbreed them,
there.
and
That's just who he
you
is.
go from
He
there.
gonna tear that motherfucker
Yes,
up. First
sir.
time I put him in a
We
kennel,
got a question here for
I had
Rastaman Boone. He says,
cause I had
Boone,
Breeze since he
could
was a
you
pup.
share your thoughts on the Irish Jerry dogs
But I had
/
I
JJ
drove down to
Red
Indiana.
dogs?
I traded a pup off of her
Yeah.
for Breeze, and I'm real disappointed in that because
How
they said he
that
didn't work out
got
for them,
going was
and Breeze worked out for me. So I feel like that shit was unfair.
the drill bit
But
dog
you know,
that
in
I
all
had.
honesty, I think they should have waited a little longer.
We won
They
5
just came
with
on
her.
a little slower, bro.
Lost
You
3
know,
with her.
because the
And
ones we
the 3
got
we lost with
are
her,
hot.
they went right
Not
at
only
3
are they
hours.
hot, they, you know,
I sold her
they like to
sister
dance.
to a
They
young
like to play.
fella.
Let me say
Her
that.
name was
They like to play.
Busy. And
That's what Ruckus did to my bitch City, man.
some kind of way him and Irish Jerry got together.
This
And
nigga,
Irish Jerry contacted me and asked me about
6 weeks, 7 weeks, man. I come in
if
there.
I had bred the bitch, and I
He
told
tug of
him yeah.
warring with her.
And they bred the Quarter John,
Working
not
her
Quarter
damn
John, Quarter John.
teeth.
Was it Quarter John? Forget the
Man,
dog
come on,
name.
man. 'Cause I don't want
Irish
you
Jerry
accidentally
bred
licking
to
me.
the
Or not
busy
accident. I don't want
bitch.
you licking me.
She was off my Crazy Red Dog and Treble. Treble was off
Pumpkin the
Mr.
Rambunctious. There she
Bulldog
go.
and
Ain't that right, girl?
Brandy Girl.
Hey.
And
Here she go. Pumpkin the
Crazy
Rambunctious.
Red was off of Whitley's Ike and Whitley's Bam Bam.
Alright, now you can go in there.
Got a
Go
lot
on.
of good dogs out of that litter. And that's how JJ, that's he come down off that stuff. And let's see, one day Jerry called me. He said, "Look, man, you're welcome to come and do any dog on my yard." He said, "I made this cross." He said, "I really, really like it." I think Mona Watts got some of them dogs now. Well, not just her, there's a whole lot of people, you know. You know how it goes.
Mona Watts. I think Mona Watts got
Hey, thanks for the
I think she
question,
got Dirtface
brother.
brother.
Thanks for the question. Whoever that brother is.
Mudbone.
Cervantes, yes sir. Salute to you, man.
Mona Watts.
Chief Killer
I think
Ho,
that's
back
like
in that super
Epidemic
chat.
Kennels or
Appreciate you,
whatever.
man.
I think she's
Came
tied
through
into
and
them
you shut
somehow.
it down last week. Salute to you. Welcome down, Rap. Big Stepper, you in the building, bro?
What up, bro? Yeah, my bad, man. I was fucking around on the yard and shit. I ain't even know we had started, man.
That's all good. It's all good, bro.
Salute, man. Salute, cuz.
Man, I done had this
Cuz
bitch in here. I
fucking
hope
with
she
that
don't get
fucking
nothing
flirt
on my rug,
phone and
man.
shit.
My
It's good when
carpet.
you got one like to fuck with it like that.
I bought a carpet cleaner. I ain't used that damn thing yet.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
think I bought that joint.
Who that dog in that picture, man?
Oh, that's a dog named Star. Motherfucking off of Gunny to some old family red stuff, and Gunny was off of Cuervo.
That's a
Pulling
bitch.
off a little gator. Yeah, that bitch deep as fuck.
Yeah, that's a mean looking bitch there.
Is that old raspberry old family red
Oh,
nose
my
stuff?
bad, sitting in the wrong with my mouth.
I ain't
The
hip
Red
to those.
Danger?
Yeah, some of that.
Yeah,
Some
I
of
thought
that.
that no
Behind
I
stuff.
gotta hit the gym
Yeah.
in the morning, man. I normally don't go on
That
Saturdays.
bitch, she built like a dude there.
Like when you're seeing that
I'm
look,
feeling
you can
sickly
see
a
that
couple
look.
days this week, so I didn't make it.
Hell yeah, that bitch like a dyke. That one CC was fighting.
Hell yeah. All
Y'all see
right.
them?
Let's see
That's how
here.
my shit's supposed to look.
What's up, Lil Rock? Salute. Grand
See that
Devastation
one?
in the building. Salute to y'all.
That's
See
from
y'all.
whooping a
Who
lot
we
of
got,
ass,
let me see
man.
here in the super chat. We got
That John broke all them. Broke these
Mr.
two
Anderson in the super chat. Much love and much
downtown
appreciation. He
Minneapolis.
says,
Me and my
what was
homeboy
the
G-Nut,
most
rest in peace,
anticipated
G-Nut, got
breeding
into it
or
with a grown
puppy
man,
that the
like
panel
harassing some
was
lady. He
waiting
was
for?
drunk.
That's a good question.
We probably about 15.
Because I know everybody
We
had
just
that
want to
one
fight.
breeding
You
and
know
they're
what I'm
like,
saying?
oh yeah, this finna kill it. This finna kill
So
it.
she,
Let me start with you,
we
Mr.
messing
Garcia.
with you?
What was that breeding for you?
We whooped him.
It was,
Broke our hand.
let's see, our champion Bill to Lucy. Bill was off of Big Red and Sissy,
I
an
broke
inbred
this one, broke this one, then
Jeep
broke
female.
this one again. I broke this one.
Lucy was off of Champion Ninja
Can't remember how
and
I
Big
broke
Red's
this one.
sister, Miss Rowdy. And I was real high on those pups. There was only 4 of them in the litter, but all 4 of them
I
were
broke
winners.
that one.
All
Then I
4
broke
of them
this
were
one
game.
again.
I bred the females. They produced good. Let's see, there was
I know when I broke this one.
Champion
Remember, I
K.
was mad as hell.
She won 3. Billy Jr.
The
won
day,
2 and lost
either the
in
day I got
2.5
the
hours.
cast off or the day after I got the cast off.
What was her name?
We at the
Bambi.
bar.
She won 2, and then
Me
Hammer.
and,
He beat a
like,
4-time
2 of my
winner in an
brothers.
hour
Mike was
40 minutes.
all 3 of my brothers.
And
a
those
few of the
that
homies.
was probably my
So
favorite
we,
litter, my most anticipated one, because it was all my stuff, a few generations of my stuff put together.
So when we leave the
And
bar,
they were
we
just
leave,
good,
boom.
solid
Of course, we all
dogs,
slap.
and they were
You know what I mean? So
crazy and wild and
I'm
good with
doing some
kids,
business. You know,
and
back in the day, I
good
sold
mothers.
rocks, man. When I was young, I sold rocks.
They were tough, man.
So,
All them, I rolled them all. Like I would roll them with their daddy, I
serving
roll them with their
somebody.
mama, with
I heard
sisters,
my little brother,
cousins.
like,
I roll the shit out of them with
my
each
baby
other,
brother.
on my yard.
You dare me to take off?
They all, I didn't care what they
Before
weigh.
I
If they were
say
too big,
no.
I just hold those legs
'Cause,
down.
I don't
and
want to have to
throw them down, lay
know
on
what I
them and
mean?
shit,
Because my hand's fucked up.
Even it out a little bit.
Yeah, just so
This
to be
nigga-
fair, Kay
little
was
bro
tiny. She
takes
was
off
only
on him.
she was
Pow!
low 30s.
He got my
I rolled
dope
her
in
with
his
her
hand.
sister, she was about a 35,
So I got
36
to get
pound
that
dog.
from him.
Bambi was beating her ass, so I grabbed Bambi by the back legs and flipped her over and held her down.
And as soon as
Kay thought she was killing her, man. You just do stuff like that. There's
so
all
when he
kinds
hit him,
of,
bam, he tried to rush
you
him.
could
He tried to charge him.
even it up,
Bam, man, what the fuck?
where it ain't
He
so
tried to come at bro,
one-sided.
so of course
Right.
But they was all good, solid
put the
dogs.
blue
I only
tops
bred
on
the females, and they both
My shit
produced
was
good
back.
dogs. In fact, my buddy,
Fucked up.
one of the foundation
that's how I
bitches for
broke
his
this
yard
one.
was off of K.
Did I even break it that time?
K and Mr. Rowdy.
I think so. I got in a fight on a
Yes, sir. Salute to
Thursday.
everybody's coming in the
On
building.
a
We got some
Thursday
tickets
night,
in
I'm
here,
out on
man.
the block
Salute to everybody. I see General Washington.
doing my thing.
Urban Wolves Kennels. I see you in here.
So
Brandon
I
Blue.
see this brother named Rico.
Blue boy.
Me and Rico's little
Salute,
brother,
salute.
Carlos, was real tight. Why they got
Rasta
them
Man
Spanish
Boom,
names
what's
on
your,
them? They black them motherfuckers.
What's your,
But anyway,
what was your
I see
most
Rico.
anticipated breeding? That breeding that has you up at night waiting on them puppies.
I'm talking to Rico.
Well,
he
the
tell me
first
who
time
he with.
that I bred
He with
Lady
this
Stone,
dude named Larry,
and
pretty ass Jason.
I was like, man,
Nigga I know a girl, a fine ass bitch, look just like him, except I don't think
it was about
And Roy, dude named Roy.
She had a few
So,
puppies, but her
when he tell
stomach
me,
was
you know,
still
we
big,
talking,
and I
we
just
like,
felt
oh,
like
that's
she
cool.
had some
I
more
say,
damn puppies in her.
Larry, I say,
And so
yeah, man, Larry and my little
I
brother
took
had
her
some
to the
words.
vet,
That's cool.
and
I
I
had already
requested
graduated.
that
So my little
he
brother
do
was
a
probably like a
C-section.
junior or senior or
But
something.
why he do the C-section, I just
So
want to
when
be
he
able to
say
see
that,
it.
you know, that
You know, I just
Larry,
want to,
I say, all right,
you know,
come
watch
on, I'm gonna walk back down here with you.
And
But I'm
he
telling
told
him
me
on our way
no.
down here,
Couldn't do that.
he got
And
my
I
little
like,
brother fucked
what
up.
you mean? I don't
I'm finna
understand.
power check him. If he's
You
not
know,
with it,
ain't no,
I'm gonna
you
whoop
know,
his ass.
I don't understand.
So,
No, you got to go out there in the lobby and you wait
when
out
I get
there.
down there, I'm
I was
telling
like,
you,
you know what? I tell you
he
what,
mad
let
because
me
he
take my dog.
the dude
And,
mad
I'll
at my little
get it
brother
done.
because he
So
He fucking with
I
some
got
broad.
the dog,
My
and I
brother,
called another
he
vet
tell
man. I
him
said,
about the
listen,
broad.
all I want to
Bro,
do
like, man, we ran a train
is
on
watch
her.
you take these puppies
Man,
out of
she
her
been through the
stomach.
house.
That's
We
it.
beat her down.
You know, she
You know
done
what I
had a
mean?
few of them. They
He
died.
one of them talking that shit
I
about
said, I
me. He
just
like,
felt
no,
like it's
I'm
more in
serious.
them.
So they getting a little, they
And,
don't fight, but
and
they
he
get
did.
into it.
And it was
So boom,
3.
I'm
We
like,
got 3 puppies out of there.
I go down there.
And they live. I won
I'm
one
trying to listen to
with
them and talk to
1
y'all.
male.
So I
And
go down
then
there.
match 1 male twice and
See,
won
that's the
one.
type of
The
hoe ass
first
niggas
one.
they was, but thought they was,
And
excuse my
then
language.
the
The
sister,
type of hoe ass
I
people they
won 2 with
was,
her.
but was acting like they was
And
hard.
we was going for our
He the only one
championship.
came down the block.
And the
You
little
know, the
freak
rest of them just down
accident,
there
you
at the
know,
car. They don't even want to get out because
one
there's
of
a
my
lot of
brothers.
shit going on the block I used to be on.
I was
Like
on
it
the
was
road and it
swamp.
was during the
Everybody out there trying to
summertime.
get some money. You know what I mean?
And he
So
closed the
boom,
building up
he
with
I
no
walk
air
down there,
conditioning
ooh, bam.
on,
When
no
I go
fan,
down
no
there,
nothing,
I tell
and
the
left
nigga
her in
there,
the
I'm like, what's
building
up? Like, oh, what up,
running
Tone?
the
Who all
slap
this?
mill.
I say, man, they call me Tone too. They call me DK. They call me Tone.
Mm.
Neither
And
one of
so
them's my real
that,
name, but whatever.
then
So
I took
I tell them,
the one that I
I
won
heard you,
with,
my little
I
brother had
bred
some
him
So I
to,
can't remember what I told him, but I told him some shit like,
so the puppies was off of Willie's Ike and Lady Stone. So I took one of the males.
you know, I say some
And
real
I
aggressive
bred
shit to
him
him.
to his
He tell me some shit
brother,
like, man, don't talk to me
daughter.
like that, man. What the fuck, you know?
And
I
then
tell
I
him,
had,
what's up?
I had
Man,
a
I'll beat
yard
your ass right
full
now.
of them motherfuckers.
So he
man,
buck up like he with it.
man, jumping,
So boom,
flying.
Jason get in between it, so
Man,
go breaking it up. He like,
I got big
okay, I'm gonna
plans,
tell y'all,
but
when I was young,
you
I
know,
thought I
we
was
done made a
hard.
good
So
run, you know what I
Jason
mean?
go to
We done
break
made
it up
a
here in
good
between
run.
us. He's like, man, nah,
And
man, don't
I
even
said, well, you know, we
don't
just
even do
kicking
that,
back
man. You know,
in,
y'all
we
chill
ain't
out,
up
man.
to
If
that.
they get into it, man, it'll
And
just end
all
up
of a
being us
sudden,
against
I was
y'all.
out of
So he
state.
thought he
And
was
I
saying
came
something
in,
smooth.
I flew
But
in,
of course I took
picked
offense
up
to that.
my
Jason, you
kids
look like a
from
girl, bro.
private school,
You know, I know I'm a handsome
and I
cat.
pulled in
I'm
my
a handsome
driveway,
cat. But
and
you
they
look
got
like a girl.
served from
You're
the
pretty.
back
So
of
I
my
tell him,
yard
even though that
all the
don't
way
mean
to the
nothing.
front of my driveway.
But at the time, I'm just
And
like,
I'm like,
you're
what
not on
the
my level.
fuck?
I just was offended
And
because to me,
I had
I felt like they should have
it's
bowed down. They
ironic we
wasn't on
talk
my
about
level.
a
They wasn't
termite
real
dog.
street type of
I
cats,
had a
man. You know what I
termite
mean? They
dog
was just some cats
that I
that
had got from Perry
didn't have a
Pound.
job. You know what I
And
mean?
the
They wasn't really in
dog
the streets for real. You know, they
eyelash
was probably
would stay
hustling a little
rolled
bit
up on the
in their little
eyeball. Y'all know what
neighborhoods.
I'm
They had a
talking
little
about?
neighborhood where they all lived right
And
there.
it be that
But wasn't nothing
cold in
popping
the
over
eye,
there. You
you
know,
know
they
what I
probably
mean?
had some fiends
So
come over there and whatever.
every
Because
day,
Jason was getting
this
money.
dog
I do
eyes had to
remember
be
that. He
cleaned
had to
out. So
join on
whether I was
switches and
here
all
to
that. He was
do it
getting money.
or whoever I had doing it,
So
they had to do that because you know it
they was in the
just
bucket
stayed
then, though.
you know
So
cold
when
in
he
the
say
eye.
that, I say,
So
what?
I had the
Super
surgery
offended. I
done.
tear
I
my
think he
jacket off.
charged
What
me.
up?
The
Nigga,
vet
I
charged
fight
me
all you
about
niggas right
$300.
now.
And what
Right
they
now, all
did,
y'all.
they went
Ooh,
in
I know
there and
they now
lanced some of
older.
that
I know they would be.
skin out
Boom, but I'm like,
and pulled
cause
the
I think they
eyelid up
pussies. I
so it
think they
stayed,
hoes, right? Bam.
the
So
eyebrow stayed off. I mean,
I say, I
the
sell them a bunch of chickens.
eyelashes
I'll
stay
fight all
off the
y'all right now.
eyeball.
Ooh, all this.
And
So
so
Rico, he laughed. He
I
like,
pull up in my
Tone,
driveway,
chill out, man. Ooh,
and
ooh, you know,
I got my
he don't,
kids
you
with
know,
me.
me and
So
him
I'm
cool.
like, damn.
Boom. So he like,
I
he
told my
like,
kids,
man,
I said, listen,
dude, you're not finna fight
y'all
all
go
of us.
straight to the house,
Chill out.
all your auntie, and
Listen,
then
man,
go
let's
next
go. He get
door
all them in the car.
and
Come
let
on,
them
man,
come
fuck that.
pick
Let's
you
go.
up.
Ooh, y'all
You
tripping.
know what I mean?
Bam.
So I can handle this.
So
So
they
I get
leave.
up there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? We got a
So
call.
I
You
see my
been
homeboy Q.
doing
You know,
dogs
we
and
both
this
from the
and
same.
that.
I'm from.
So, man, I just
We both
flew
from the
in.
same
Here's my
hood. So I
plane
see
ticket.
Q.
What you
He
talking
with
about?
some other cats that he fuck with.
Well, you know, we got to
So
check
I
the
fuck with them
dogs
too, but
and
not
this
like,
and
you
that.
know, boom.
Like,
So I
yeah,
tell Q, what
okay,
happened?
go ahead.
What
I'll
happened?
check the
He
dog.
got the thing on him. He like, man,
And
let's go over there right now. So I'm
then they
like,
come
man,
back
nah,
and
man,
they
fuck
said,
them bitch ass.
well,
You know
you
what I
got
mean? Them
one
bitch
that's
ass.
been
Man, we
fighting.
not
I said,
finna.
what you mean?
They
Yeah,
not
that one
worth,
right
you
there.
know,
I
they
said,
not
that's a
worth our
puppy,
time, bro. We
man.
not finna do that.
That's
You know
not
what
a
I mean? I
grown
just
dog.
was
That's a
power
puppy.
checking him,
Oh, well,
and
it's been, I said,
he didn't want
no.
to
I
accept
said,
it, so I was
the
gonna put the
dog
flip
has
flops on.
surgery. I said, we can call a
What I say?
veterinarian or the
So
bill is on the desk here. You can look at
Boom.
that.
So I'm just playing them
And,
short.
that's
Like,
when
they're soft. You know what I mean?
the
They're a bunch
officer
of,
told me,
they
said,
was
we
some,
ain't gotta look
they
at
was some
nothing.
vice lords,
I was like,
but they wasn't
well,
hard.
damn.
Like, no, by this
What
time they
y'all
had
come
blue
here
crib.
for?
I take that back.
Cause you
They
damn sure didn't
originally
come
called
here for
themselves.
doing nothing right.
No, they didn't.
If
They used to be
you
into it with
saying it
these other
like that.
cats that was vice lords that everybody
And
called the nice
man,
lords because they were
that,
soft too.
that thing
But
hurt
anyway,
so goddamn bad, man. Cause at that time,
so
I done got dogs off
I play
Lady
them short.
Stone.
Boom,
I
I go
got
back to
dogs
doing what I
off
do. We out there, we getting it.
Crazy Red. I got
But now
dogs
I'm in
off of
we
Nimrod.
own 3 houses
The
on that
yard
block. My
is,
family do it, not
you
me.
know,
So
at
my
that
family
time I
do.
rode a couple of them and
Four
man,
houses on
shit.
that block.
We
At
had
that
went
time, it
to
was
some
2.
shows and
Ricky wasn't
motherfuckers
living
like,
over there.
damn, them motherfuckers play
Boom. So
harder
we
than everything
own
we
3
seen
houses on
this
the block.
weekend.
I'm in one of the houses. I'm trying to get me
But
some
anyway,
pussy,
man, so Yeah, that was really some.
I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to,
anticipating to do a lot with
I'm
this,
trying to slam
with
something.
that flock
So I'm
that
in,
I
I'm in
had
the ear,
right there. It
pulling
was
my matter.
about,
Boop, boop, boop,
I
boop,
think
boop,
they took
boop.
about
Oh, so I
35,
hear my
40
cousin
dollars.
outside, like, where
Damn
DK at?
shame.
DK.
Yeah, man, I
Where
was,
DK at?
damn,
You came looking for
man.
DK?
Damn shame.
You
And
looking for
look,
DK?
and this
Okay,
the thing, I
hold
was
on.
like,
Where
yo,
DK?
I
So
said,
when I hear that,
it was like, oh, well, we just gonna, you know, I said, man, you
no,
can't
somebody
put them
like
dogs
he
in the
tennis
same
club.
thing. You see, they was
So
on the
somebody
chain
came
by
to get me,
themselves.
but
You
I
can't
hear
put
him
them in
out
them
there.
cages together.
But
Oh,
like I
I
said,
guess
I'm
we
trying
can't
to
put
boom, but
both
some
of them
he's like,
in
man, there's
there.
some niggas out here looking for you.
Man, they had that
I'm
fucking
what?
truck
Bam, I come right
rocking
out.
going
So
on.
my cousin already checking. I'm like, I was really offended
Dumbass.
because they was scared of my cousin,
Hey,
wasn't
look
acting like they
here.
wasn't
I
scared of me.
know
What?
when they got
You got me
wherever
fucked
they was
up.
going,
So,
the blood
cause what happened when
everywhere.
my cousin was
I'm
finna
telling you,
leave.
son,
He
them
was finna leave the
motherfuckers,
block.
you
He
can
on
see
the bike.
the
He finna
back of the
leave.
truck just
He
going
said they like
from side to
when he
side. I'm
going
talking
past
about,
him,
and
they
they
like,
just
hey man,
throwing two dogs
you
in
seen
it,
DK?
put two
You
in
seen
a
Tom?
thing. Man,
He
is
like,
y'all
yeah,
crazy?
you know, he around the corner. He like, so he got the chunky. He should
Man,
be.
I
I don't know.
couldn't
Somehow
believe
my
it. But
cousin seen the
anyway,
chunky. He like,
you
you
know,
brought
that
that
was
for
some.
DK? He like, you
I
know,
was
that's my
really
cousin, right?
anticipating
Boom. So I
on
guess they.
seeing
Ooh. He like,
what
no, you want to see
that
him,
crew was
right?
gonna
Come
look
on. Ooh,
like,
that's
you
why
know,
he
'cause
talk. He
they
talk
looked
all fast.
good.
So you, no.
And
You
the
want to see
other
him,
guy
right?
that asked
That's what
us
you want to.
about
You want
that
to see him?
breeding,
Come on.
I meant to say this. I
Boom.
want to
So
get back to you.
cousin
Is
come down there with
you
them. It's
know,
four of them.
all the fellas
Was
said
Rico with him?
everything correct,
No,
but
it was three
the
of them. It
one
was
thing
Larry,
that a lot of people don't do
Jason,
is they
Roy,
be looking for certain things
and
in
it
certain
was
breeds.
four of them. It was another
Okay,
little one.
but
That's
the only way to get what you're looking for is you got to
he's the
keep
other
them.
Larry's little brother, but the
Yeah.
other
You
Larry
can't,
got
you
killed.
can't breed
You
them
know what I
and
mean?
say,
He had
well, I'm gonna
a
keep
home
two.
invasion.
This is
We
it.
fresh out of high
It
school,
don't
so
go
we home
like that.
invaded him, killed him. I know who did
You
it,
got
but
to keep
that's another
every
story.
damn one of them.
That
If you
dude just
want to
died.
know
Dude that did it
exactly
just
what you're
died.
doing and what you got,
Drinking.
when you
He
make
just was a
them
drunk,
breeds,
man.
you got
He
to
was a couple
keep
years
every
older than me,
damn
just
one of
drunk
them,
himself to death
and
like a damn
then
fool.
make your assessment as they
But
become
boom,
of
so I come
age.
out. Who
Yep.
doing all the
True,
talking?
but if you getting rid of
The
them
one I
before
respect
then,
the
you don't know what
least,
the hell you're
Jason.
doing.
He's whooping.
You're
He
the
got
hope
the
and
badass
prayer.
fofo, so he's
Yep.
feeling
But that's what
himself.
I used to
He
do. I
what's
would
up? You
breed,
talked all
not
that
keep
shit.
all of
You
them.
called
And
him
then I
out. Fight him now.
had
Ooh, all this, all that.
shit. But
So I'm like,
see what you got.
pussy, I called all y'all out.
Yeah.
So when I
But
say
go ahead.
that,
I'm
we had already exchanged
Yes,
a bunch of
sir.
different things.
Yes,
We were
sir.
saying, ooh.
Man.
So I'm like, yeah,
So they
what?
just
I'll
took the
fight
little
him right
dog.
now.
I'm
Ooh,
still
you know,
stuck on
cause
that part.
so then as we
Man, I'm still hurting
but
from
like I
that
said,
shit,
it's the
man.
block.
It was like,
So it's cats on my team
you
that's not
know,
even
I
from
mean,
the, you know what I mean? They
I
not even
swear,
on,
man,
they not even on my team for real,
that
but they
shit
on my
hurt,
team because
man.
we on the block. So my
Man,
guy Toby,
I was like,
boom.
man, I couldn't believe it.
He grew up,
And,
you know, they call him Toby,
and
but
somebody
he called
called him
himself
on me.
Must-I Clown.
And the girl told me,
So
you know,
boom,
she said, look, you know,
Must-I
they
Clown,
had anonymous caller
he's
to
clown.
call in, and
He's real
you know,
animated.
because I
He's
knew
a
one
real
of the
street nigga
girls,
for
she
real.
used
Like
to
he's real gritty with it. So he telling Jason, you
help
got a
when I
4-4, I
would
got a
do
380,
food
nigga.
and
What's
stuff
up?
like that for
What's up? But
homecoming
he's
and
bluffing. He
special
don't got no gun.
events.
What's
And
up?
she just wanted to
All
make a little
this.
side money. She,
So
you
I
know,
know
she
he
was one
bluffing
of them
because once
girls
they
clean
got
up
a
at the
little further, he
pound,
like,
you
who got
know,
a strap? Who got a strap? Like
clean
I know
up
they parked
and
around the corner. We can go through the
all
yards and
that
meet him at the
stuff.
car,
And she was
right?
like, man, that was fucked up.
So he going crazy.
But, you
Everybody,
know, that's
they
how they
hold him
do
back
us
and
though,
stuff. So
brother.
me and Jason
They
still
murdered
trying to
them
settle,
dogs, man.
you know, talk, have
When
a
they come to
word.
us,
So I
it
tell
don't
him,
even be about what's right.
Right.
pussy, I called all y'all out. For some
You see
reason,
what
I
I'm
remember my
saying? See,
exact
I
words. Those
would
were my
respect
exact
the
words.
situation
This is
more if I
93.
had been doing it and
So
then
I
they
tell
claim,
him,
okay, you called me.
and I'm talking about how
I
I
can't
ended up
bitch
breaking his
about
hand. Boom.
that.
So I tell
But
him,
damn it,
pussy, I called all y'all out.
you took
So when I
a
tell him
puppy,
that,
you
he
looked
just
at a
loses his
puppy that
mind.
had surgery
What? You don't
and
call
a
me out, nigga.
bill,
You don't call
and
me out.
I offered to
Tear
call
his
a
jacket
veterinarian
off.
right there, and you could have
Hand his
talked to him, but
strap
instead,
off. Oh, no, that's what
nah, we
happened.
ain't gotta do that.
So
You know, we're gonna take the dogs. You know,
before that, when they're telling me and Larry,
that's
I'll fight him
that's
one-on-one,
why
fight
they
him
took the
one-on-one, I'm
dogs.
like, yeah,
You know,
let's
and
do it. Woo, woo, woo.
man, I
But
was
like
so
I said,
sick, man.
everybody
That
else
was
is
a
charged
Yeah,
up.
still,
Everybody out there want to do something to them.
And, you know, for
But they got
many
them
years,
straps
believe
with
it or
so
not, man,
you know, for some
I
reason,
didn't even take the
like
chain.
ain't nobody have a strap out there that day. Normally the block is strapped the fuck
You
up.
know,
But it's probably
I
because the
was
Suburban used to
cutting
come
some
through all the
trees
time.
down
We had
in my
some pigs that used to
backyard.
be in a black
Found
Suburban,
a star
and we
with a
just called it
chain
the Bourbon.
with the
Cause they
collar
would
and
jump out,
everything
the
thing.
big ass white boy, big, tall as hell, big as hell. He always jumped out with the gauge.
Fucked up,
So,
man.
I think all of them was
it
white though,
could
but
be
anyway, he was a real big one. But
as tragic
anyway,
as it was
anywho,
for the dogs.
so
It was tragic
when they tell us going on a warning shit, well, they had kind of made a
you know what I
circle.
mean?
So
Because
I'm like, what
the
up?
one thing about the dogs,
And then one
they
of
love
them,
you.
Roy, Yeah, man, I'm tired of getting these
unconditional.
tongues. And the dude
No
that I'm
matter
finna
if your
fight,
ass fought and it
we're
stink,
like in a
them
circle. He
motherfuckers
tell
still love you.
Roy,
You know what
take
I'm
a
saying?
gun off of
Right.
his waist.
True.
Like, let me get that strap.
Yeah,
You niggas
man.
be doing too much
It
from New
really
Orleans.
hurt, man. But
I came at all them for the
you
next
know, I'll
2 or
never
3
forget
years,
it.
but
And
because I
then
always thought
I
they were
had
pussies.
about
Who is you playing with, man?
35 of
You know what I
them.
mean?
You
The
know,
only thing about Roy
where
I
I
give him,
live
he was a
is
little more street
big old creek,
than the other two.
anywhere
You know what I
between
mean?
60 to 100 feet wide,
He
and
was
I
a
own
vice
half of
lord,
it.
but his family was all bloods.
And it's
They were the
it's
only
long
bloods
distance.
that
You
was
know, it goes a
from
long
the
way.
north side. You know what I mean?
And
The last name was Jackson.
I
Other than
had
that, bloods
about
wasn't allowed over
35
there. You know what
of
I
them
mean? But
I didn't know that it would.
they wasn't
The water
connected to the
was
bloods
coming
over.
up as
Man,
high
they
as
probably
it
was, but
would.
not really. They wasn't really banging though. They was all blood. They always wore red. And they claimed
It was
blood.
on
All
New
that shit. I mean,
Year's. It was
since
like New Year's
little,
Eve.
I remember I went to
So
elementary
me
school
and
with
the old
Jeff.
lady, you know,
Jason
we
and
done
Jeff,
went
they
to
brothers.
one of our friends' house. We hanging
And
out and shit.
he was probably the
And
first person
we
I
come
seen
back,
write some
you know, and
gay
I
shit.
see the
I was in
water
probably
at the
the
bridge.
fourth
You know, and I
grade.
said, damn, that
He
shit
had wrote
high as
blood in
fuck,
black
you
and
know.
red on
So
something.
we
But
coming on
anyway,
up the driveway.
that's
So
another
I hear one of my
So
dogs. He's
Roy
like,
got the strap. So
I
now
never heard
I'm super pissed. I'm like, I'm telling Roy, you just told
I ain't
me
never
we
heard
supposed to
him
be going
sound
one-on-one
like
and he
that.
got a gun on his waist? Oh, y'all got me
said,
fucked
damn,
up. Okay,
man,
okay,
I'm
I know what
drunk
it
and
is.
shit. That's when I was
Okay.
drinking a little
So,
bit.
you know, now I'm not
I
talking
said,
about fighting.
damn, I'm
You
fucked
know what I
up
mean?
and
I'm talking
shit.
about, okay,
You know,
next
me
time
and
I
old
see
lady done
y'all,
hung out
it's
New
something for
Year's.
real.
You know what I
So
mean? I said,
Right.
that's
shit,
when Jason
I'll
was
go
like,
down there
you called
in
him
the
out?
morning. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm fighting.
Man, I
Nigga
went
fighting.
down
You
there,
called him
man. I
out.
ain't seen
That's
no
pussy. I call
fucking
y'all.
dogs,
But
man.
Jason really
All I
forced my hand
seen
because I
water.
really didn't want to do
Damn.
that with him. Once I
Right.
seen all of them had
Hey,
straps,
and
you know what
them
I'm saying? At
dogs
first I
there,
thought he was the only
they
one with
was
a strap, but 3 of them had
inbred
straps. The
Zebo
little
dogs,
dude, the little light skinned dude, I
him,
forget his name,
and
Jason
I had some
and Larry,
Madeline's Outlaw,
all had straps.
Red Boy Cross,
The little
down
light
off the
skinned
Ike
dude,
Bam Down stuff. I had male
Lord,
and
he might
female.
even be mixed.
Man, them motherfuckers.
Jason, I
woo,
think Jason
boy,
was
they
mixed.
was the package,
And
man.
then
But anyway, I lost
Larry
a lot of dogs
and
that
Roy,
I
neither
know I
Larry and
would
Roy
get
were
a
both black.
lot of things
Like
with.
I'm yelling at the
But,
motherfucker, but
you know, sometimes
I'm
they
watered
ain't
down a
fucking,
little bit, but I
man.
ain't mixed. I got a lot of native
I
blood
said,
in me.
damn, man,
But
that
that's
was,
another
that was
story. I
a
got a little
crucial
white in me too.
vibe going
Like my
through all that and then
great
still able
grandmother
to
was mixed,
maintain the blood
or my
that
great
I had
grandmother
from
was
back
mixed,
then. Because if I hadn't
something
put
like that.
dogs
She was
in,
black,
you know,
white,
like,
native.
you know,
But
I put
anywho,
one here, one there, one here, one there, you know what I mean? But I'm keeping up with them, you know what I mean?
so 3 of them had
And
straps.
Yeah.
so
So
I
I'm not
was
first. So
able
he forced my
to,
hand. He tore
you
his
know,
jacket
be
off,
able
handed
to,
his
you
strap
know,
up,
get it, you know, just
and
because
ran up on him.
I made sure I
It's
kept
winter time.
one
It
or
ain't
two
winter
here, there,
like
you
snow
know what I
on the
mean?
ground,
And
but it's winter to where we had coats
but
on. I had on a
that
real